Okay guys, well we're just in the garage doing the tedious work of testing lights to see if they work or not, obviously. I don't know about anybody else, and I'd like to actually know, so if you have any comments on this, let me know. But living in Florida, I tend to, first of all, if you don't already know, I'm a very frugal, I call it the nice word, frugal, cheap kind of guy. And I like to do things the right way. However, I like to do things the cheap way. Most of the times when I buy my lights, if I am new, I buy them the cheapest I can around. Mainly that is Walmart. I might go and buy some lights from Home Depot. They tend to have a sale once a year. But usually it's just Walmart. And I find that, yeah, I can pick up a box of lights for $2, $2.50 a strand for about 20 feet. But those lights tend to only last about 2 years, if I'm lucky. Maybe 3. But usually I give it a lifespan of 2 years. And these, I mean, if I'm buying colored lights, the paint starts to fade, and overall length, whether they need to be repaired or not. I mean, talking about out of the box, they work fine, to the time where I have to put something into them to get them fixed. About 2 years. I have lights that I have had for 10 years. I don't know where they were purchased, honestly. I don't remember that far back. But I do have lights that I'm still currently using that have been around in my possession for at least 10 years. I have had some lights that have been donated to me that are obviously old. So I don't know if living in Florida and living with the hot weather and keeping them stored in such a hot temperature is good, it extends the life, if it's bad, or whether it makes a difference, in all honesty. So I don't have to worry about extreme cold weather, lights sitting in snow, things of that nature. I've never experienced that, never had to worry about it. We do have rainstorms, and I'm assuming that the fading of the light bulbs is caused, mostly by the sun, and it is typically sunny here. So maybe somewhere up north where it's typically cloudy or overcast during winter time, maybe the paint doesn't tend to fade as much. However, when going through my lights right now, I do this in a number of different steps. First of all, I'm going to plug them in, make sure that they actually work. If they work without any hesitation, they go in my works pile, which will be designated the color of the lights. If half a section works, or if I have to shake it to get it all to work, they go in another pile. I'll classify as my fixed pile. And then if for whatever reason the whole strand doesn't work, or if it shakes and part of the strand, if for whatever reason it doesn't work and it's the entire strand that's out, they go into my non-working pile. You probably know, if you've been following the videos, that I do, to save money, use old Christmas strands for extension cord, because they work. They have plugs on both ends. There's a little bit of advice that you probably obviously need to know about doing this. Number one, plugging end to end on regular non-LED lights, you can typically only power about 3 strands of Christmas lights before you blow the mini fuses that are in the plug. And those fuses are there for a reason, so don't just wrap them in tin foil or put a piece of whatever metal in there to prevent the fuses from blowing, because those wires will melt and catch fire and do all that fun stuff. So they're there for a reason. So when I'm using my Lightorama show and I'm only plugging a couple lights in across the yard, I might use a strand of Christmas lights if I'm out of extension cords, because I do not need this massive extension cord going across the street going across the yard to power one strand of lights. and I'm too cheap to go out and buy extension cords. I mean, I would love to just buy a spool of lamp cord and put my own fittings on. Again, I will be doing that eventually, most likely when the time comes where I know that I'm going to be in the house for a long period of time, or when I buy. So keep that in mind too. If you have a set of Christmas lights that don't work, that they're just unfixable, but they tend to they still run power through. Keep that in mind. You can always use that as an extension cord. Also, all the light bulbs that are in there doesn't mean all the light bulbs are out, so you can either pull the light bulbs out. Cha-ching. You can pull the light bulbs out and put them in a bucket. I've got my 10 of bulbs here and fuses. Or you can just keep the strand around and pull them out as you need. I'm going to make it a point to see and read these tags that are in the bottom of these plugs to see if I have the information. I was looking at this to see if there was a date on it, and this strand has a date, I don't know if you can read it or not, of 1996. So this strand of lights is 19 years old, and it still works. I mean, it's in bad shape. I most likely won't use it because it looks like crap, but they last. You know, funny note, I found out last year that and I'm going to assume that this is true, but I found out, I heard a rumor that says the light show that they do at Walt Disney World, I'm going to assume all their lights, all the Christmas lights they use at Walt Disney World, but more specifically the ones at Hollywood Studios, the Osborne light display. When they go to take that stuff down, because it would cost Disney more money to pay the laborers to take it down and wrap it up and then pay for storage, that when they're ready, they just cut everything down and throw it all away or recycle it. Which, for someone like me, it's just painful to hear that they've got brand new LED Christmas lights that they use for the shows, that at the end of the season they just cut down and throw it and recycle or throw away or whatever they do with it. I really wish that they'd give me an opportunity to go in for one night, that's all I need, and take down as many lights as I can possibly get so I can keep them before they just get rid of them. But I know that they have a sponsor. I've forgotten who it was. Was it GE or someone, Sylvania or something, that sponsors, that pays, or that provides them with their Christmas lights. And then it only makes sense how much, it would cost to store, take all that stuff down. So, fun Christmas fact, or rumor, fun Christmas rumor. All right, well, it is Sunday, October 18th. I think it's the 18th, and yep, and got about half of the lights down, checked and organized. You can see our piles are starting to stack up here. We got some lights we need to fix. All our white icicle lights. We've got our colored lights and LED are on top. Box of white lights that have been checked and are working. And then in this box down here are extension cord lights. Still got about half of the lights up in the attic. I've been down in South Florida for the last couple weeks, and we'll be down there for the next couple weeks. So probably starting this coming weekend, I'm gonna start putting up some lights because of my new job and the training. I'm gonna be gone for most of October, all of October, and most of November. So I gotta get this stuff started soon. Looks like the weather looks pretty bad, but it's actually nice. It's cool and breezy. I think tomorrow is supposed to be a high 79, so that's kind of a nice change. So anyway, just wanted to touch base and let you know what's going on. And hopefully this week down in South Florida, hopefully I'll get a lot of programming done, and then next weekend I'll probably actually get some lights up. So exciting stuff.